Brazil, Latin America's economic powerhouse, has become a major draw for out-of-work Europeans, where several booming sectors lack qualified personnel. Portuguese businessman David Bernardo is one of the new expats to have benefited from Brazil's boom. 2 years ago, he brought his online clothing store to Brazil. As sales skyrocketed, he found himself struggling to fill key positions. So, Bernardo created a page on Facebook named Jobs for Foreigners in Brazil to serve both local companies and Europeans in search for work.
Brazilian businessmen need qualified workers and Europe needs more jobs. We hope this situation will change and I believe things will get better in Europe. But at this moment, I think there is a great demand in Brazil and great offers in Europe. I created a page on Facebook after observing this situation.
To his surprise, it attracted over 20,000 people in less than 2 days, and now, a couple of months later, it has 7,000 more. A recent study showed that Brazilian companies are hiring more than ever, with 80% of the firms planning on expanding their staff by the second quarter of 2012. That was how Fabrice Woman, a 27-year-old Frenchman, ended up as a marketing consultant in the Brazilian branch of French company Ticket. He is now better off than most of his college mates who are mostly waiting tables in Paris restaurants or unemployed. Like Bernardo, Woman said he had received dozens of emails from friends willing to pack their bags in search of a better life in Brazil.
I have many friends who have sent me their resume, want to find a job in Brazil. Getting a Brazilian visa is a bit complicated. You need to find a job first in order to get a visa afterwards. So the resume is a very important part. Some French schools have partnership with universities like PUC, Mackenzie, but most of them don't. And another problem here, especially for the French people, but also the British, is the language.
Fleeing to the other side of the world is no longer a mere adventure, but an economic necessity. According to the Brazilian government, the number of visas granted to Europeans in the first quarter of 2011 grew 20% compared to the same period last year. Paulo Sergio de Melder said the country's robust growth opened up business opportunities for foreigners.
I think the crisis highlights Brazil's importance in the international scenario. We are seeing European countries and other regions in the world with weak growth rates. So in these regions where growth is higher, like in Brazil and other emerging countries, markets become very attractive to investors.
The upcoming 2014 World Cup and Olympic Games 2 years later have also spurred a construction boom that increased the country's demand for architects and engineers. But with no solution to the European debt crisis in sight, the international outlook has also worsened for emerging countries such as Brazil, where growth rates are expected to drop in the face of a global economic downturn.